FYI, and great to have in studio, Gary DeLacy just got off his bus route. How'd it go, Gary?
I remember Chris Turner, who used to be our transportation director, always said, school starts right here, which is true. I mean, you get there shortly before 6 in the morning, and it's kind of amazing. You got about 30 to 40 people mobilizing and doing pre-trip checks on the bus. And, I'm doing bus 17 some this week, and I think our first pickup is like around 6:38. It's dark, and you're doing basically that elementary route right now is pretty much in the dark. So I'll be honest, I really enjoy the experience. I'm getting to know the kids a little bit and some names, and got a great monitor to work with, and. I almost feel like my dad always says, my dad always took great pride of getting up early, and he goes, like 9 o'clock, we've got more work done already than some people get done all day, and kind of feel that way. Like, hey, I've already got a good part of my day in, and the day's actually only started.
Very good. Now, this is a regular route for you when you do sub, or do you have to learn 2 or 3 different routes?
I've been doing some different routes. Now, this route this week has been the same route. And it is really helpful to be able to do that, just to get an idea of, the first time you're doing it, you're kind of, okay, here's my next address. What's the best way, left, right, navigate to get to that spot? Are the kids on the left side of the road, the right side of the road? And fortunately, I have a monitor to help me with that. This morning was the 3rd time this week. So now I'm starting to get into a rhythm a little bit, and I'm not relying on the monitor to know exactly where to go.
Again, visiting with Gary DeLacy on FYI. So the Clinton High School renovation, give us an update on that.
So coming together, I would say that phase 1 is well over 90% complete. Our original target was to get in by the Martin Luther King weekend. We were informed last week that the classroom doors, which were supposed to be delivered last week, aren't going to be delivered until the 1st or 2nd week of January. Mm-hmm. And this was something that was ordered pretty much at the beginning of the project, which would have been like 18 months ago. We're not going to get occupancy for our kids until those doors are installed, and they're estimating it's going to take 30 days once we receive the doors to get them hung and put the hardware on and get them operational. So we will begin a soft move, like getting teacher supplies and things over there next month. But given the situation with the classroom doors, kids will not be moved over until sometime probably mid to late February, by the time we get the doors installed and we get occupancy clearance. So we're a little bit delayed now, and it is that supply line shortage kind of thing. I'll be honest, walking through the 2nd and 3rd floor, by tomorrow, both of those floors will be fully carpeted. They're supposed to go through and do a punch list on the ceiling, and then they'll put in the ceiling tile. At that point, other than furniture and the doors, the 2nd and 3rd floor are done. The 1st floor, it'll be a strong push, but I do believe that by the time we get into February, as soon as we can get those doors installed, we'll be moving in.
Now, I would imagine the teachers have had the opportunity to walk over and take a look around. What about the students?
Students really have not had much chance yet. One of the things is just the availability of hard hats.
Oh, yeah.
And when it's in a construction zone, you need hard hats. So now the kids haven't had a chance. Obviously, we will probably start having the kids. They're the ones that are going to be moving all the stuff that are in their lockers into their new locker. So I'm sure that process will happen sometime before the big move over. So they'll get that opportunity to do that. I'm actually, now that you see it coming together, really excited, and we will have an open house for the community probably late February, early March. We'll get the kids in there and we'll get established for a little bit, but we obviously want to invite the community to come in. We want to thank them for obviously supporting it through that bond issue that we passed. And I think they're going to be very pleased with what they're going to see.
Now, that is, of course, phase 1. When does phase 2 kick in?
Phase 2 will kick in probably a month or two after that move, because we'll have to finish with asbestos removal of what I would call the old 1919 building, and then we will demo the 1919 building. So whether you call the demo as part of phase 2, or you're going to wait until, say, when walls are starting to go up, I would say you're going to actually see construction starting probably early summer. That demo that they're projecting will take a couple months to happen, and then probably trying to get the land, get the underneath land, and get everything set for that phase. You'll probably will start seeing some real new construction, which would be phase 2, early summer, and then they're projecting about a year to get phase 2 done, which would be the CTE facilities like welding and auto and woods. That's one wing. The other wing will be music, so band, choir, orchestra, and then between them will actually be the new Performing Arts Center. So that will be phase 2. So hopefully when you're talking, we come back to school in August 24, that will be done.
Amazing. Now, the demolition, when that is underway, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of truck traffic and different things like that.
Absolutely. I mean, you can imagine demoing that building and just the amount of debris that'll be taken out of there.
The amount of brick.
Yeah, the amount of brick. And we will, one other thing I'll mention, Gary, is that we will have one more big community sale. So if people want to get in there for desk and tables and chairs, blackboards, if you have a desire for that, I mean, all those different things, we'll have one more day, and that'll be right probably before the asbestos removal. So that'll probably happen within a couple weeks of after the kids move out. We'll probably have that community sale. Then we'll probably have the asbestos removal. Now you can kind of see this is getting into March to early April. That's probably, once you get the asbestos out, then probably you're looking at April, May demo.
Before we take a break for the weather, again, visiting with Gary DeLacy, State School Safety Grant update. Give us an update on that.
The week before Thanksgiving, we had a state contracted company called TerraTech went through each of our 6 buildings. And this is part of that $100 million that the state is putting towards school security equipment. So just to let the community know, all 6 of our buildings had that inspection and assessment. And then we are currently waiting for that report to come back. I was involved in a Zoom session yesterday that talks about the next steps once we get the report back. There will be recommendations, whether it's additional security cameras, security lighting, better hardware on classroom doors that you might be able to lock from the inside instead of the outside in intruder situations. Better communication equipment, two-way radios, all those things that would be things that you're going to probably see in these reports. And then we have up to $50,000 per building that we can go ahead and request from the state and then move ahead. And just we're trying to follow best practice. Given the school safety issues of the day, obviously $50,000 per building. I'm going to be honest, we'll expend that easily. It'll go really quick, but again, it's additional resources that we normally don't have, and just let the community know that we will be. And once we get those final assessments back, we'll probably be putting out a statement to the community on here are the different things that we will be looking at enhancing for our safety at Clinton schools.
It's great that we get the opportunity to have you in every month on the third Thursday to keep us abreast of what is all going on. Gary, thanks so much.
You bet.
Let's take a break for the weather now, brought to you by Citizens First Bank.
Happy Thursday. We are going to be cooler for this afternoon. Highs are only going to be in the mid-30s. We'll have cloudy skies, some winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour, which will contribute to making it feel a lot colder, and a chance for some snow showers into the afternoon and overnight. Right now, it just just looks like light accumulations of a dusting for most around I-80. And then north of Highway 20, we could see anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. This has been your Storm Track 8 weather update from meteorologist Morgan Strackvine.
Right now it's overcast, 33 degrees, southwest winds, brought to you by Citizens First Bank.
Citizens First Bank Digital Banking provides you with ways to protect your personal financial information. Use the Card On-Off feature if your debit card is lost or stolen. Monitor your balances to watch for anything suspicious. Enable text alerts so you're notified of a transaction over your limit. And custom alerts are available too. Banking as it should be at Citizens First Bank. Visit our digital branch at gocfb.bank or one of our local branches. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Back with more on FYI with Gary DeLacy, Superintendent of Schools for Clinton. Career Awareness Center 2023-24 registration.
Yeah, I'm really talking to the parents out there, particularly of the current sophomores and juniors that we have. Now with that new Career Awareness Center opened up, and it's sort of a soft opening this year. They're still, in fact, we got a meeting tomorrow in the building. I don't know if they're fully operational yet at every level, but obviously next August they will be fully operational. And one of our challenges now is really exposing our current sophomores and juniors, next year's juniors and seniors, to those opportunities at the Career Awareness Center. And I would encourage, and we'll do what we can do as a school district to really expose those sophomores and juniors. But if you're a parent of one of those sophomores and juniors, I think it's really important to have those conversations. And if you feel like, hey, I'm not equipped to have that, reach out to our high school counseling department, and I'm sure even Clinton Community College would be willing to give tours. We've talked about Clinton Community College having some open houses on the different areas that they'll now offer between health services, auto, welding, agriculture, all these different career pathways for juniors and seniors. You know, my goal is to get 20% of our juniors and seniors, which is about 85 students, involved in one of those career pathways. And I think that's a very doable number, 20% of those kids. And the thing is a lot of them will be either credentialed when they graduate or be close to being credentialed, like maybe they need another year after high school to get credentialed in one of these areas. And these are jobs that our manufacturers and businesses in this area are begging for. Yeah. And this is an opportunity, particularly in the era of high student debt. You have that opportunity, particularly when you're a junior or senior, beginning those paths tuition free because the school system's paying for that. And, I think one of the things that's we've done a poor job over the years is we've kind of had this push, we got to get them ready for college, like a 4-year school. And we do have a lot of students that just don't envision that 4-year schooling. And it's my hope that we are targeting a group that would be very interested in, I like to work with my hands, I'm not interested in 4 years past high school. But you know what? If I can get credentialed as I graduate, or maybe a year or two after I graduate. And for a lot of our kids, they have a desire to stay in the Clinton area. So now they could actually do it here and not leave.
I see it as a great opportunity, certainly, but also a great option for the student. As you pointed out, there are some who just want to maybe get right into the workforce, and they'll be ready to get into that workforce with this. It's great.
Yeah, it's something that's been missing for Clinton County, and I think in a lot of times what's happened is some of our students have went down to Scott, and what's happened is then they never come back. They get into the Quad City work market and that connection. So I think it's been really important to get this work development center right here in Clinton. I'll be honest, get our hooks into them, and then we've got enough capacity. I mean, our businesses are begging for good, solid employees right now. They don't have to leave, and they could have very well paid jobs. And like you say, there's a number of our kids that 4 years of college is just not appealing. And now when a lot of times you're talking $100,000 worth of student debt, heck, that's not appealing to me.
No, not at all.
So it's just a great opportunity. And again, if a student wants to go to that 4-year option, that's still there too. We have a very rigorous AP program. You can get a lot of college credit moving into that direction. We're just expanding our options here for Clinton High School students.
That is great to hear. Speaking of opportunities, staffing opportunities are available after the holidays, besides bus drivers.
Yeah. I'm still going to put out a pitch to people that we are still not fully staffed at Clinton Community Schools. So if you follow our Facebook page at all, we've been posting jobs. We've been pretty fortunate. We've picked up a middle school industrial tech teacher in the last few weeks. We've picked up a business teacher at the high school, but we still have some openings. I'll be honest, for teaching, we still really would love to get 2 high school Spanish positions. We would really like 2 middle school language arts positions. There's a number of special ed positions across the board. So I'm going to be honest, we're still about 10 full-time positions, teaching-wise, short. And we're working hard and looking at that. But like you say, we're probably short 2 full-time bus drivers right now. Your superintendent could get a little more sleep in the morning if we could get those filled. We're short on paraeducators. We're short on food service. So if you do have any interest, please reach out to any of our buildings. You could go on our website. You can reach out to our admin center. We are still looking to hire.
Last evening on the River City Sports Review, I had Patrick Lower, the Fulton football coach, in with his son, Patrick, who is now down at Augustana, freshman, going to be on the football team. I was asking had he decided on a major, what his future wanted to be, and he said elementary education, which is great to get. I would like to see more male elementary teachers.
Absolutely, and that there's always been a push to try to get that balance gender-wise at the elementary level, and I think it's good to have that balance. And you usually see it at the middle school and high school. You get closer to a 50-50 gender balance in the staff, where elementary is 95% female. And you would like to see a little better balance. And that's encouraging that you might get more males. And now, it used to be hard to get an elementary position, but now they're kind of in the same boat as we have openings there too.
What do you hear? Are there students who are interested in education as a career?
I'll be honest, I think we need to do a better job, and I talk about this with my middle school and high school staff. We got to start planting the seed more. When you see that kid that has really good relationship skills, those kinds of things, plant the seed. Have you ever thought about being a teacher? We tend to do that already with welding and auto. I mean, we tend to try to plant those seeds, and I said we need to do that with education now. There's such a shortage that we need to plant seeds. One of those 9 career pathways at the Clinton Career Tech Center is education. Okay. So there is a pathway to at least start to explore that and get some education credits in while you're still in high school.
Just, quick go back to that career advancement. This is just not Clinton High School, right? It's, the county-wide, correct?
It is, and really the Clinton one is more focused on the east side, so really you're seeing Northeast, Easton Valley, Comanche, and Clinton funnel into this one. There will be satellites at DeWitt and Maquoketa, okay. So DeWitt will open up next fall. Maquoketa is already opened up, so obviously proximity those will kind of probably factor in on the west side of the county.
As always, appreciate your time, and we do close with the condolences to the Y family. Lenny Y, of course, for years, a dedicated employee at Clinton High School, coach, athletic director, teacher, but the passing of the love of his life, Sue, a high school sweetheart back in Durant.
Yeah, and people, Sue was really a fixture at Clinton High School as well. I mean, when I was a teacher there, she was basically a secretary for the old AV department. And so she was, she worked there. And then obviously when Lenny ascended to be an athletic director, Sue ended up being the sub on call. And so ticket taking, working the concession stand, she was always visible. The one thing I will tell you about Sue Y is I had never heard her say a negative thing about anybody. She was probably one of the most positive people I have ever met in my life. And I told the Y children that last night at the visitation. I said, that will be one of my lasting memories. I think if you looked in the Webster's Dictionary under kindness, you will see a picture of Sue Y.
And of course, her volunteering, I know she was very active at the hospital.
Right. And you know what? A lot of that just reflected the values of the Y family. I mean, when I went through the visitation last night, I mean, what a great representation for the city of Clinton. And, I was fortunate that I had a few of the Y children as a teacher. Obviously, worked with Lenny as a colleague, and then obviously when he ascended to AD and I was coaching. And then Sue was a colleague all the way through as well. So a really great family, a huge loss, to be honest with you. Sue was, they went to our church as well at Prince of Peace, and just a huge loss. She lived a full life. She gave a lot to this community. There was a huge gathering when I was at the visitation last night. I'm sure there will be this morning as well. And like I said, I think Lenny would tell you this. Lenny wouldn't have been nearly as successful without Sue at his side.
Yeah, and I'm planning on going to the visitation and the services today. So yeah, it's an outstanding woman, a great family. Of course, Lenny, after his teaching career, got into kind of like public. He was at Clinton National Bank.
Right.
He was just kind of delivering cookies. They might have been Sue's chocolate chip cookies, but
it might have been. And who knows now? Maybe Lenny's always. They've both been really big into community service, and I know a lot of his time the last few years has been a caretaker of Sue. I wouldn't be surprised if Lenny kind of reaches out again. That's kind of in his wheelhouse in terms of being out and working in service areas and reaching out and supporting Clinton.
All right. As always, appreciate your time coming in and visit with us every third Thursday on FYI. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, getting ready for the new year.
Yep, and next January we'll be talking about the beginning of the legislative session, so that'll be underway when we talk in January.
Thank you so much.